I saw a great one last night.
How horrible did I?
Over on the police activity channel, who should be paying me dividends, they do wonderful editing, and they start off with 2 911 calls. So you know what the cop knows when he gets there on the scene. You don't just pick up some random video. Who is this? You know what the officer's name. You know you got context. It's beautiful. There is guy says, hey, there's an intruder on our property here. He was sleeping in one of the vehicles. He's violent. We've got to get him out of here. He won't leave. Okay. What's he wearing? Tennis shoes, shorts, and a tennis racket. He goes, what? The tennis shoes, shorts, and a tennis racket. He's armed with a tennis racket? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the cop shows up with a fucking German Shepherd. And he's got the Shepherd at a big leash, and he's walking.
Don't bring a tennis racket to a German Shepherd fight.
Don't. So he's yelling, come out, you get bit. Come out, you're going to get bit. Gives him like 3-4 of those big loud warnings. Dude's definitely heard this shit because he's yelling back. Can't really tell what. He's cursing. He's crazed. He's wearing tennis shoe shorts and a tennis racket. He's out of his fucking mind. And so the cop unbuckles that fucking dog and I can't remember, Pocken maybe? Whatever he says. And the fucking dog is, he lets the dog get a big running start because it hits this guy. It doesn't just run up and like get in a fight with him. It tackles this motherfucker. And now the dude is on the ground fighting the dog. And when the cop catches up, he's going, stop biting my dog. And then I see the cop has the tennis racket. And he starts whooping this guy's ass with that tennis racket. He's hitting him with the edge of it right in the face. Whack, 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 whack. And he hits this dude in the face with the edge of the tennis racket, breaking the tennis racket, like tears it apart, hitting him in the nose and the mouth and the face with it. The dog is also fucking the guy's face up. They destroy this motherfucker in like 5 seconds. Then they finally get the dog off of him and get him handcuffed. He's got a mohawk and his whole face is just a bloody mask. It was wild. But don't bite the police dog. That was or don't, pick a fight when you're armed with a tennis racket, I guess.
Don't
it's
beat
a great
people
video.
in public with a tennis racket. I like just thinking about that, like hitting someone with the side of a tennis racket is very funny as like a brutal way to hit someone. But like, I was just thinking, like, if someone came up to me and was like, what, like rapping me on the head with the side of a tennis racket, I would like go in, and if they were faster than me, I would be like full on panicking and like, stop, fuck, man. It's like, it's just like, you'd be bleeding because the edge of those is a little sharp and it's fiberglass. Whop. That wouldn't be fun.
I see like
on his face.
There's a movie trope where the dad bod 35-year-old unathletic guy always grabs a golf club to defend his family.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible is my viewpoint too. Isn't the shaft of it kind of weak? And it like if I hit Kyle on the deltoid with the shaft, doesn't it just break and Kyle's not even injured?
It'll probably bend.
Some clubs are aluminum and some clubs are carbon fiber, right? It might not be aluminum, it might be stainless steel or something. The metal clubs, like my experience, by the way, is just buying clubs in fucking pawn shops and hitting balls in a field. So I'm no golfer, but the ones we bought were either metallic and you could snap those on your knee, or they were carbon fiber. And it was tough carbon fiber, the kind of like fishing rod, tougher than a fishing rod, like the best ones at the base. Yeah. Like it felt real tough. But down at the bottom, I don't know. I never broke one. It felt like you could snap one, like you're describing, Woody.
So you wouldn't beat someone with a driver, like one of those like carbon fiber can snap driver. Like if you wanted to fuck someone up with like a 9-iron, yeah, you can fuck someone up with a 9-iron.
It's a good weapon. You think you give it the thumbs up?
Like if it's a low tier list weapon, but if it's there, and that's what I need. Stick. If someone takes a tennis racket and I have a 9-iron, I'm winning that fight.
9-iron beats tennis racket.
All right, Taylor, I have a question for you.
You got more reach too, right?
There's a burglar coming in. He has a knife. You have at your disposal a 9-iron and a guitar, an electric guitar. What are you grabbing?
Oh,
I don't think I can. I mean, I'm not a baseball player. I don't think I can get the kind of
reason, Taylor.
I don't think I could get the kind of bat speed I would need from the guitar.
You're a strong guy.
Like, I could whip I could hit someone so hard with a fucking 9-iron.
Okay.
Like, that's what I would
roll
do,
back,
for
because
sure.
at first I imagined a cluttered hallway at close range already. That's guitar territory. But if I can like stand off like Jean-Claude Van Damme, do my kata, like fucking adjust my robe, and then like kind of karate kick the ottoman out of the way just to show off a little, kind of get
I love the scene.
I just
You
wanted to,
realize
like,
you're not athletic enough for flips, so you're doing like somersaults.
I like the idea
rolls and
that
stuff.
the
You see that? He
Ottoman
did
moves
a
an
bad
unimpressive
handstand.
9 inches, and he's like, "Well, this fuck."
Where'd he go? Oh, he's right there. He's very slow, actually.
I think in
stand up and do that.
Yeah.
I think in open territory like that, I would still take the 9-iron, because but it comes with a problem, and it's the one Woody pointed out. If you don't hit them with the head of the club, I think you could break the club or warp the club in such a way that it's no longer really swingable without like sort of being this silly thing that doesn't quite work anymore. You lose a lot of it doesn't work anymore. So I'd take the 9-iron in that situation, but you'd have to be careful with it, because if you don't hit them with the head, it'll break on them on like a shoulder. I think it'd bend around their shoulder. If you were a dummy like they do in the movies and you just hit them across the midsection with the middle of your 9-iron, it just ruins your 9-iron.
You gotta hit him with the head of the club.
Yeah.
The big old
in the
metal
head.
part. Yeah, that'll kill them. Like, you hit someone hard with the club
I'm
part
trying
of
to
the 9-iron,
fucking put a divot in their face if I'm swinging a 9-iron at them.
I'll throw it at Wolf. Your weapon is a pull cue, and you're gonna swing it at someone. You know,
I don't have to.
I said the word right.
It has 2 attacks.
A pull
the
stick.
pull cue.
Do I use
the pull cue
wrong?
You're right.
Either work.
Okay.
The heavy end, sure.
You would hold the heavy end or the light end?
No. You'd hold the light end.
Okay.
You hit somebody with a light end, it's not going to. That would hurt less than a broomstick.
I think I put more thought into this. Just to interject, pull cue. You got to think of it like a weapon in a video game. It has 3 attack modes. Okay. You can swing it. You can stab with it, which I think would be incredibly effective. If you poke somebody in the eye with it, you could outright kill them. You could also take that 2-piece pull cue apart.
See, that's
and now you have a really effective club. And you can throw the other piece of shit away.
Yeah. Well, how patient is the guy who's trying to fuck you up that you're having time to?
He's very. We're preparing for battle, Taylor. I mean, he's patient or not. I'll tell you. I have an answer for you, Taylor. He was so patient. He agreed to meet me in my billiard room. Okay. For this fucking scenario that we're discussing.
He's over there juggling, trying to pick which ball will be his weapon.
Let me say, I would take both my socks off if I had those, double them up, through a pool ball in there, and then I feel like that's an even better weapon than the stick.
How about this, Kyle?
You have the prison talk coming out. You know what I would do? I'd take 3 locks, put them in a sock.
As someone that was trained with martial arts back in the day, and like the quarterstaff was one of my good weapons when I did martial arts. And whenever whenever I took girls on pool dates, I'd do the twirly thing as I'm walking around the table to look really cool and stuff like that.
Yeah, really cool.
I twirl it behind my back and stuff.
Do you wear the cowboy hat when you go out like that?
Do you whistle the Harlem Globetrotters music while you're doing this?
I do cartwheels when I play pool to look cool.
No, I twirl it around. I've got the trick where it goes around my hand and all that stuff. But the best thing, I mean, if you could unscrew it fast enough, using 2 of them like Kempo sticks. You know the art that you've seen them do with the 2 sticks? That's probably the most effective thing you could do with it, because you have the light one and you have the heavy one, which is even more effective because it's shorter.
Can I snap them with that like real quick, and then while they're blinded a little bit, club them over the fucking head?
It's literally like your fist, like a jab and a round.
I like the idea in Kyle's lengthy pool room like preparation. He's taking the chalk and making it loose so he can throw it in his eyes.
Oh yes, dude! I've got a whole. Now they're blinded. I do Bruce Lee move.
Pocket sand action.
If I ever fight somebody
like a
in
ninja.
a dark room, if I'm using Kempo sticks and pool cue and pool chalk to fight someone, there's not a chance in the world I don't do some Bruce Lee noises like as I swing around the room just to really throw him off. And look, you cannot say if you were a home invader. Just imagine.
Yes, I'm invading your home.
You did not expect people to be there, but now you're being stalked by a guy who's making Bruce Lee noises, and he clearly is armed with Kimpo sticks.
In his
that
underwear.
would be terrifying.
Yeah,
naked,
would be
naked.
scary.
I immediately strip down and like butter myself. I all over. I get greasy upstairs. I'm not even joking. I'll go get it if I have to for proof. I have a gallon of silicone lube with I could be smothered.
No,
in that
you don't
shit
get to
in
like
30
fucking Kevin
fucking seconds.
McAllister the prep of this.
Oh,
with
zero
lube
preparation? Where'd the
and,
club
like,
come
hot
from?
doorknobs.
Where'd the golf club come from? Because I don't own one of those. You don't allow my scenarios. What is it? Code names? You're a fucking rule master? No,
Fair enough.
no. I'm lubed up. I'm getting greasy. You know what? I tell her, I'm like, remember the movie where the guy's in prison and he's kidnapped like a fucking other prisoner, or maybe like a cop or something, prison cop.
Tom Hardy.
And Tom Hardy's naked, and what does he say? Grease me?
Quick guys. He's trying to get him to
butter,
grease him up,
right?
Yeah,
Isn't it
butter
butter?
him up. So, yeah,
he's forcing his hostage to rub his body down and smother it down with butter because he's about to fight an entire SWAT team, like a riot team, I should say. Like men with billy clubs and shields are coming, and he wants to be greasy because he's gonna fucking give him.
Now,
it
you
works.
of course know the GSP UFC legend.
I want to talk more about weapons we could fight people with in the home. So, if you were, you made me think about the pool cue thing. You and Wolf were saying that you would go two hands. Kimbo,
I would not. I would not.
Style.
I was just being silly. What I would actually do, because. And I try to be practical when I imagine my silly scenarios, whether it's funny or not, because if I were actually going to try to fight somebody, I think that I would be good enough at swinging one heavy thing with my other hand free. So my other hand can do things like grapple, punch, claw, scratch, throw pocket sand, or maybe just grab on and double hand this club I'm about to swing with. So I'd want to get the pool cue in half. If you don't give me enough time to unscrew it, which is 8 seconds tops, I'll snap it over my knee, which I'm fully capable of, at which point now I've got a jagged pointy end rather than that
is
long.
scarier, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but if you're
I would want
like,
that.
if I burst into your pool room and you are standing on the opposite side of your pool table with a pool cue, and you're like ready to have that kind of battle, I feel like I could really do some damage to you, just like reaching in a couple pockets and then firing pool balls at you. Yeah. Because think about that. Like, you're ready to have a real fight like that, and now you're getting pool balls fucking fired at you from 6 feet away. Yeah. I think I might rather have just the pool balls than the pool cue, because you're going to break that shit immediately.
Like, I mean, unless you throw like a girl, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and even if you throw like a girl at 6 feet away, you're gonna fuck somebody up with. I wouldn't want a girl to throw a fucking cue ball at my head from. I don't want anybody throwing.
One of the scariest things that ever happened to me was we were doing this big like sleepover at a guy's house. We like played paintball in the woods. There's like 8 of us, and then we were gonna spend the night there. We did spend the night there, and his older brother showed up, who's like even more hardcore and badass than the guy we came to hang out with, and the guy we came to hang out with was the most hardcore badass guy we know. I mean, he had a paintball field in his backyard, you know.
Learned it from his brother.
And this guy's game was to play like tag with darts, like real like darts that you throw, like the real sharp ones. But there's no way to play that game except for single player, and we were just targets. And that was so scary. I was fine with fighting or like wrestling or like being rough housing or whatever. But when he started hurling darts at people, like a few of us ended up in a back bedroom in the basement, like with the door, like holding the door back against them. It became a silly game. But then, like the way the room worked, it was a finished basement, but the ceilings weren't completely connected with the drywall at the top, such that he could sort of get up in and like throw darts into the room from the corners, and so a dart would just hit the fucking floor next to it, and we're all. It was scary. Every time I went,
that's actually really scary.
Dude, every time I went to a guy's house, and again, like it was Chad, John Scott, and Jacob. Cool dudes, hardcore dudes, the kind of dudes that do backflips off of the fucking swing in 3rd grade, like that guy. They're
great description.
In every case, they're fucking older. They had an older brother, and that's the reason they were that kind of badass, so young. And their older brother was always a wild man. Like he drove a Camaro or something. He drove a sports car or a motorcycle. He did silly. He had a dirt bike. Like he also did backflips, but he did 2 backflips just off the second floor of their house, then landed on a trampoline and just rode it out stiff legging, like mean mugging you. That kid dangled me over a fucking balcony for the fuck of it. Just put a scare into me.
Like you were Michael Jackson's kid.
What happened to him now?
I don't remember, but I remember hearing a story. Here's how they scared us about him. They told us that he had and of course it's bullshit, that he had hit a kid in the nose and driven that kid's nose into his brain and killed him. That was, but when you
that
hear
was
that,
such a common rumor.
Of course,
I think every town's had that rumor.
When you're like 10 or 12, you believe that shit.
Absolutely.
His name was Don. That was his fucking name. I remember now. Yeah, Don was fucking
Donnie
hardcore.
Darts, we called him.
He dangled me off a balcony like a child. And I had to be like 140 pounds back then. You know, I wasn't a tiny 12-year-old. Yeah. And then
you do sound like a child in this story, though.
Well, I mean, I was dangled. I was a child to him for sure. Yeah. I mean, he was a man grown.